ocean absorbs about a quarter of the CO2 released by human activities each year. While it's in the air, that CO2 causes well-known problems like climate change and sea level rise. But the ocean, through its circulation and biological activity, can take that CO2 up and transfer it down into the deep abyss, where it can no longer influence the climate. But there's a drawback. Absorbing CO2 causes seawater pH to decline, and that's called ocean acidification. That adds an extra stressor for organisms already struggling to adapt to the effects of climate change and pollution. It also reduces the chemical capacity of seawater to take up more CO2 in the future. So my big research questions are, how much CO2 will the ocean continue to absorb as we keep putting the planet under pressure? And how does that extra CO2 interact with the marine ecosystem? Part of my research is based here in the North Sea, where we're collecting seawater chemistry measurements as part of a national monitoring programme. We use those measurements to look at CO2 uptake here in the North Sea, what drives it and its variability. And we see how human activities, both on a global scale, things like global warming and acidification, as well as local factors like offshore infrastructure development, we look at how those activities affect those processes. And ultimately, that better understanding allows us to work out how the natural system might either amplify or counteract some of the impact we're having on the planet, and help us to predict and prepare for the future on a very different Earth.